very much. So I'm basically playing on borrowed time at this point, not because I'm gonna die. That's not a bit morbid, isn't it? But because like an hour ago, one of the park rangers was like, "You're not allowed to play music here. I'm gonna come back with all the police." And then as he was saying that, I don't know if you've seen them, but the police are doing their Christmas parade, so they drove past dressed as Santa. It was a great moment. But the point is. For some reason, New York City government doesn't want street performers here anymore. So I'm just playing on borrowed time. Because I've done this everywhere. I couldn't care less what one guy's talking about. I'm playing music for y'all at Christmas. I'm the only free thing in New York right now. You're welcome. And this one is by a musician that doesn't have to deal with local government officers telling him there's a nuisance. This is a guy from the UK, a pop writer, and this is my rendition of one of his songs. Goes like this. This one goes out to the gingerbread man that I had yesterday. This one's called Shape of You. Best joke in the show, it doesn't get better. Place to find a love that's all of mine. Where I go shots in the past, I'm talking friends and
Hey friends, it is I, James Kalm, your half-assed reporter, the guy on the bike, welcoming you back for our 19th season here at the Kalm Report, and we are on Leonard Street in Tribeca. Oh gosh, look at this. Here's Kathy Bradford, the great Kathy Bradford. So you said it's going to be packed at the opening tonight? Okay, thanks Kathy. Nice to see you, yes. And we're a couple of them too. All right, thank you Kathy. Okay. Well, get it out of the street. Yes, sir.
Fucking traffic.
Hey, what are you doing driving a car, man? My cockerel. So we're gonna run in here at Timothy Taylor. And we're gonna take a look at a Chris Martin show. And the show is titled Speed of Light. Okay, it's packed. Everybody's here. Tamra. Okay, well this is kind of like old home week. I've kind of cut down on my going to openings because first of all, everyone is screaming. I don't even know if I'll be able to go through and do this all tonight, but I'll do my initial stroll through here. It is James Kalm, yes. We'll stroll around. Boy, oh boy, yeah. Okay, one of the attractions for this show is that there are some large paintings perks of doing video at the openings that are kind of exciting for me. You get to see some of your old friends and some of the local art world superstars. Let's see what's happening in the back room. Oh, this is nice. We got like a painting. Okay. I did ride my bike. Well, we're going to try to start out here. This is titled Psychedelic Trans Dub 2024, oil and acrylic and glitter on canvas, 68 by 78 inches. Well, I've known Chris for probably 20 some odd years at this point. He was one of the people that he kind of bumped into and got to know through the Brooklyn Rail and Phong Bui. He's one of the, I guess, what you would consider the foundational members of the Williamsburg art scene. And yeah, I've probably got at least 7 or 8 videos of his posted on YouTube. Okay, and also, I think Chris is probably very well known for his use of glitter, and he was saying this is titled Psychedelic Trans Dub. Not only is Chris an artist and provocateur, but he's also into psychedelics, and I've even got one of his mushroom paintings. Okay, well, I've had a lot of people that have been seeing, I've been seeing here in the show. I think this is interesting. This is actually the back of a painting titled Dark Matter. And I've spent some time hanging out with Chris in his studio. You know, Chris doesn't paint on regular artist canvas. He goes and he buys painter's drop cloths at, say, Home Depot or someplace like that. And then he stretches those. Also, I was thinking that, well, maybe not his stretcher bars were getting a little better. Kind of makes me think of a statement I heard that Franz Klein was helping to hang an exhibition maybe with Betty Parsons. So there was a bunch of Mark Rothko paintings, and they came in and he was looking at the back and looking at the stretcher bars, and he said these things looked like the carpentry work you would use for making chicken cages or chicken coops. Anyway, so this is the front side of Dark Matter. They actually posted this on Instagram, and you get an entirely different feel about the painting when it's, I don't know, 3 inches by 2 inches, something like that. This painting is Dark Matter 2024, oil, acrylic, and collage, and glitter on canvas. It's 135 by 118 inches. So in one way, I would say that this is kind of like one of Chris's more regular size paintings. I was going to say, the other thing is that when I first became acquainted with Chris and his work, maybe back in the late 90s, early aughts, he'd been painting just in black and white at that point for about, 10 years. And I don't know, I did some research and I talked to Chris, and Chris had worked in an AIDS hospice for several years at the end of the 80s. And I guess there was some kind of a memorial sense to the painting, some kind of sad, tragic monument to some of his patients. Hello. Okay, well, this might be one of the paintings that I'll have to come back and take a look at when there are not dozens of people standing in front screaming. Okay, let's get up a little closer here. Excuse me. This is Staring into the Sun, 748. Russell Hill Road, 2024. Acrylic collage, sequins and glitter on canvas. And this is 135. Oh, each panel by 118. So that's 135 by 236. Well, they've got a great video on Instagram of them carting this in here to hang it on the wall. Okay, this is interesting. So Chris has got some holes cut in here, and gosh, I like that. That actually reminds me of some of the early Julian Schnabel paintings that I remember seeing back in 1979. Okay, so they're saying this is on canvas, but it looks like the canvas might be mounted on plywood. And also I'm thinking that, yeah, Chris must be using some paint brushes with extremely long handles on these and might be painting them on the floor. Also, I like the way that he is shading these spikes of the sunburst with the glitter on one side. You can go back in the files. I've got a video that I probably posted 12 or 13 years ago. It was called Painting Large, Painting Big. It was a Chris show at the Corcoran Museum in Washington, D.C., which the museum actually doesn't exist anymore. Oh, and there's one of Chris's mushrooms. Hello. And we've got some leaves in there. Okay, wow. Finally, things have cleared out enough that you can kind of get this piece in the frame. Hello, hello. Okay, well, here is one of the rare regular size paintings by Chris. It's titled Mushroom Cabin, 2006 to 2012. Oil on a found painting. Well, I was talking about Chris and his appreciation for mushrooms. Oh, I get it. We got a little cabin over there. So he probably found this tchotchke painting somewhere, maybe out in Williamsburg, and painted on top of it. Okay, now we'll see if we can get people to clear away from this painting. Another big piece. This is titled The Speed of Light 2024. Acrylic and collage on canvas. noticed there's been kind of a theme with several of Chris's last shows, which have been starscapes, views of the night sky, some of the constellations. I think also Chris uses a lot of very interesting kinds of glitter. Oh, so we've got some footprints on here. So as I said, I've gone out to Chris's studio in Williamsburg. He actually has a building, and sometimes he'll put the canvases on the top of the first floor. There's a studio that extends back beyond the main part of the building, extends back another 40 feet or something like that. And he will stand up on the roof or on the fire escape on the top floor and look down on the canvases from 20 feet up in the air and sort of plan his next move. So we got his little signature there and his collage elements. Is that Coltrane? I think Chris grew up in Washington, D.C. And now maybe we can stand back and get this in the frame. Okay. People asked me why I came late, and I was thinking I would get here and the crowds would have thinned out, but it took a while. So that's the full frame version of that painting. And again, that's 135 by 236 inches. It was funny, I was looking at Joe Bradley and thinking about the size of some of his paintings in his last show, and I thought they were big. I think some of these by Chris are even bigger than slightly bigger than the Joe Bradley pieces, maybe. Also, there's a lot of stuff happening under the black paint. So he'll go back in and paint over collaged elements or scrape through them into something else. The exhibition continues, and finally we don't have a bunch of people standing in front of the paintings and yelling. This is titled Burst 2024-25. Okay, so it's the second week in January of 25, so Chris was working on this in the last week or so. This is a mere 48 by 55 inches, and it's basically the same theme as his Staring into the Sun piece. So Chris uses a lot of interesting stuff. There's some fabric with sequins, and I don't know what that is, some kind of a textile puffball. I'm actually surprised Chris has a motif that he's been using for many years, which is a 7-pointed star. Let's see how many points this has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, so it's a double 7-pointed star. Okay. And a lot of this was cut away and pasted back together again. Okay, well, we made it. All right. The beer is gone. They're folding up the tables. So this is James Kalm here at the Timothy Taylor Gallery, reporting on Chris Martin. You can like this, share, link it up to all your social media sites. You can talk about it, and you can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and reviews below, and your suggestions. And you can subscribe. All we ask is that you say thank you, Kate, and thank you for watching for 19 years of the Kalm Report.
Thank you very much. Shape of You there. A song by Ed Sheeran, musician from the UK. Yeah.
What's your name?
MORF. My name's MORF. I'm